What's up, everyone? Welcome to Dream Interviews, a series where we talk with the fighting game scene. I will do a brief opening for the Spanish community because they know me a lot better, so give me a sec. Hola, ¿cómo están a todos? La verdad, estamos juntos acá con ApologyMan. La verdad, un gusto tenerlo. Tienen disponibles los subtítulos para que utilicen. Los pueden utilizar en el navegador de Twitch. Lo van a poder usar desde cualquiera, ya sea celular o todo. Van a tener disponible lo que es CC, que son las captions, para activar. Y van a poder tener los subtítulos al español. O en inglés, no me acuerdo cómo funciona el tema de Twitch, pero van a tener un poquito de ayuda. So, back to us. How are you, Apology?
I'm good. Thanks for having me for this interview. Yeah, I'm chilling. Just been getting excited for the new Guilty Gear. Like playing offline Dragon Ball. You know, just playing fighting games, like a lot nowadays.
Yesterday you were playing with Falconis and Jonathan. It's coming the offline scene, like slowly, but it's coming. So we have CEO, Evo. But Evo online, so thanks God there is no DBFZ online for Evo, so it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they did say that there would be a side event for DBFZ at Evo, but it would be PlayStation, so I don't really know how that's gonna go. The DBFZ Nationals were run on PC because all the NA players are. You know, we all know that the PC version kind of runs the best with the best and the worst,
the best and the worst at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's not the best port, but you know, it runs faster. That's all we got. But the main thing that is probably preventing Evo from even doing a PC DBFZ online tournament is the fact that it's sponsored by Sony. It's like a Sony.
Yeah, I think Evo. Sony cut the thing off with PC, so only F3 Fighters have PC and PS4 because it's crossplay.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Unfortunately, Dragon Ball doesn't have crossplay, but yeah. So that I'm pretty sure that's like the main reason why that it's being run on PlayStation. So that kind of sucks, but especially since it's you know, cross-country PlayStation 4 that plays. Doesn't sound the best.
Yeah. So I think the division of the US, I think, is West Coast and East Coast, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
But here on South America, sometimes they divide by South and North, but sometimes West and East. But West and East is only Brazil, and the other side is like all Chile, Argentina, Peru, and the distance is much more than in the USA.
Yeah, they're very far away. That makes sense.
Yeah, and with the netcode of DFST, it's impossible to play like Peru or in Street Fighter. In Street Fighter, it's a little bit less hard to play against Peru, but it's hard if they have a bad internet.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, that's also really why I'm like excited for Guilty Gear, right? I played with a player from Argentina, Kawa.
Kawa.
Sorry, I was thinking of Zato because he plays Zato, and I was like Zawa. And also, I watched the anime Kaiju recently, and they say Zawa a bunch. Anyway,
he's in the chat, so
shout outs to Kawa. And I played him, and we had over like 200 ping. And it was still playable. It was crazy. Like, I actually couldn't believe it. When it comes to online for any video game, like, there's basically a limitation to like just your region. Even though like within fighting games, like latency is extra important because you need to react to stuff. But now it's like with rollback, like I can play people that you couldn't even play in other genres, like other video games.
Yeah, I think
like the fact that I can play Kawa is crazy. Like, absolutely.
Yeah. I think with Stripe Netcode, we will be able to play against Mexico or people like either from you, the USA, Apology, Jonathan, Hook, Sony Fox. That will be really cool to us to play against you.
Oh yeah. I'm very excited. Very, very excited.
When did you start to play fighting games?
So I started, and it depends on your definition of whether Smash is a fighting game. But my first competitive game, it is. I'm just joking. It definitely is. But my first competitive game was Super Smash Bros. Melee. Actually, I started in middle school, so I was like 6th grade, and I think I was
pretty
12.
young.
Yeah, I was very, very young. I had gone to like one tournament. There's another.
You went on a tournament with 12 years old?
Yeah, I was super young. Yeah, the person who got me into it was we still play fighting games together. He's like a pretty long time rival, really childhood friend of mine. 2 GB Combo. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's played Dragon Ball a little bit. He's more notable in the Under Night scene. Anyway, he was kind of my main training partner, and he got me into the Melee scene when I met him in middle school. And then after that, I was just kind of hooked to the just going to tournaments in person and improving and getting better. So we played Melee for a few years competitively, and then eventually he kind of just was I think I remember it was Super Smash Bros. Brawl came out, and then it kind of killed the Melee scene for a little bit. It was a huge decline, and then he started playing BlazBlue at our local arcade.
Lord Knight plays BlazBlue? Lord Knight plays BlazBlue?
Dude, yeah. That's how I knew Lord Knight, actually. I played him in BlazBlue back in the day. But yeah, because he got into BlazBlue and he was I don't want to play Smash anymore. Screw Smash. I'm damn it. What do I do?
You have to change it.
All right, I guess. Yeah, I had no choice. I had to jump ship just like he did, and it turned out that I really like BlazBlue as well. I really got into the BlazBlue scene, and over time, that was kind of my first traditional fighting game. This was in 2009 at this point, and I basically had stopped competing in Melee, and I played BlazBlue for a pretty long time until Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And that's the fighting game I'm probably known the most for. Yeah. But I had a lot of a lot of my first good results and accolades are definitely within BlazBlue. That's kind of
you started your first big tournament was offline Evo 2012, right?
Yeah, I think that was my first
big one.
No, it was 2013. 2013 actually. That was the first Evo that I went to, pretty big major, and I made a top 8 for that in BlazBlue, and I had beaten the SBO champion for BlazBlue to get into top 8. So it was a Cho, Superboy. He came to that event, and I had beaten him to get into it. But anyway, I had a lot of good results in BlazBlue, and I played BlazBlue really hard. And I just I never really played I played Marvel 3 on the side just for fun, as a joke. I always thought the game was really dumb and stupid. I'm yeah, it's a stupid Marvel game. I don't really want to treat it seriously, but I just played it for fun. And then over time I really grew to love it, and I started doing a lot better in it, and I kind of started competing in that really hard for at least 6 or 7 years afterwards.
Yeah.
And
your biggest games are Marvel and DBFZ. Why did you choose those games to be your biggest game ones?
So a big thing in fighting games for me is movement and interesting. I really like unique character design, and Arc System Works fighting games really provide those types of movement options and character designs. Marvel as well. That's why it's a big part of why I like Ultimate Marvel. It's a very free-form game. You can really have your own unique strategy and move in the way that that you like. It's very
you're
very
free
very
to
fun
move.
because of that. Yeah, that level of like creative like independence that you can have. It really speaks to me when it comes to playing a fighting game, and not many fighting games can really capture that, like those games.
Yeah.
So,
some fighting games, they limit your movement, so like you don't have so much air movement. There is a pretty few games that allows you to air move so much. Like Marvel, DBC, I think they are the most freely to move on the air.
Yeah, for sure. DBFZ, that's like a big part of it. I really like so like I was saying earlier, right? Like character design is really important to me, and it can carry an entire fighting game for me. Like in Marvel 3, I loved Super Skrull and Firebrand.
Yeah,
like, those are like my favorite characters. And regardless of what the meta or what like other characters I may have disliked in that game, my love for playing those characters would be the most important thing to me. It would triumph over like kind of every other aspect of the game. And for Dragon Ball, that was Piccolo. So
yeah,
if I really love a character, I'll fall in love with the game. That's just how I am.
Yeah, and so mostly you choose the game based on the characters of the game.
Yeah. If I can really just be creative and like be myself.
Feel the character. Feel the character.
Yeah. And I really like playing the character and move around the way that I like to. That is a fighting game for me. I think that's kind of like my only real criteria. But yeah. That's why I play the games that I do.
We have a few questions on the chat, so I will be doing some questions from the chat. Tio Elsa says, "Do you think the Latin America had a good level in a fighting game?" So I don't know if you saw the match with in the DFC show. They showcase Kawa versus T9, and you play against Kawa in the Stripe beta.
Yeah. So I'm the most familiar with Kawa as a player, and he's very strong. I think he's like a really strong player. I definitely want to watch more of like the Argentina scene. It was really cool that the showcase kind of got to show off like some of the Argentinian players.
Yeah.
And
I was very happy
yeah, absolutely. And I think you guys are definitely very, very good. And I think it's gonna get like just better like over time. Especially when you have more opportunities to play against more opponents. Like that's just gonna like increase like your skill set, more matchup.
The hardest thing to us is to play against another people, because the region is so big that we cannot play against other people because of the lag or the connection they have. So there is another question. The possibility of the fighting game community to help the South American region to grow and develop to an international level, to participate in like World Tours or Evo, because we have a few players like Kane that have the possibility to go to Evo and won the Evo. That is one of the biggest things we have today.
Yeah. I mean, I was there. He beat me.
Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. I know that's like a thing that he always talks about is kind of the lack of like opportunities that the South American players get compared to like some of the other scenes. And then my heart definitely goes out to you guys. I know it's difficult. It can be more difficult, but I'm happy that at least that like Bandai would do like a showcase like that, like small stuff like that, and like CPT, I think having like South American qualifiers, like just stuff like that. I do like that the developers are taking an effort, like
those small things that they are doing is making us grow even more, because the scene with the online part with COVID and those make us grow a little bit with the streaming and showing to other people that we exist right now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
No, I could just speak.
I was just gonna say, like, it really feels like the best way to get your name out and like kind of like grow your scene, grow like all your players and brands and stuff is it's the biggest thing everyone's talking about is just content, right? Like you you stream more, you upload more of like your scene, make more like video content. That is like the biggest thing I think is it's like the most straightforward way I think to like increasing reach like in anything in any gaming community right now.
In the old times with Evo and those, you have to play to make you renowned. To let them know that you are good a player, that you are from Chile, you are from Argentina, or you are from USA. You have to win those tournaments to let them know.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's kind of changing, honestly, nowadays. I think winning matters actually like way less than it used to. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I think content creation is key. Like that's and it's weird for me because like as a player that like never was really into doing content creation myself, I was much more focused on just winning, right? Like or just like competing. That's like
to
my
be
entire,
good
like,
and not to create good content and be funny.
Yeah, exactly. And like this, it was like this past year that I really was like, okay, this is important. And I think the FGC, like all over the world, is kind of getting a wake up call in that sense. But yeah, there are other ways, and it's cool, you know, like that Kane is like a great example. Like he like went out and did the thing, right?
Yeah.
But even more than that, like I actually think it's just content and stuff. Like if you really want to keep growing like your reach in any form of the gaming community, honestly.
Yeah. Kawa asked, how much dedication and time did you have to put on Marvel 3 to find some game-changing text like the tenderizer assist and the firebrand unblockable on a snapback?
Oh, so actually, the funny thing with that is that like that concept, because when the game came out, right? Firebrand, everyone knew that Firebrand had the full charge unblockable move, right?
Yeah.
And that was like one of like it was like a pretty quick concept that people were like, all right, we just need high block stun and we can unblockable them, cool, right? So it was known for a bit, but the thing was actually making it tournament viable and practical. That was basically what I did. I didn't like find Firebrand plus tenderizer. I think that was known about for pretty early on, because I played a different team entirely the first year of Marvel 3. I played Frank West actually with Super Skrull and Doctor Doom, and then eventually I was like, okay, this team sucks. Like I can't. If everyone did NorCal, like they played the cheapest teams. I was like, God,
I imagine.
Man.
No fan allowed.
Magneto.
Broly C with Jonathan Tini, Tim Gohan.
Yeah, exactly. NorCal's all they do is play cheap stuff. I'm just out here struggling, playing my low tier character. No, kidding. Anyway, but yeah, the biggest thing was I played this team like on the side for just like as a fun side team. But in general, my practice is I play at least, when I'm really competing seriously, I play about a training mode at least 2 hours a day. That's like kind of like my bare minimum that I like hold myself accountable to. And you know, when I play offline and like a session, I'll play for a really long time. Like yesterday, for example, like because I haven't done that in a while, like for the pandemic, but that is like very normal for me. I played 8 hours yesterday for DBFZ.
Yeah, it's like
I'm like.
To be good and to compete, you have to take your time, like 6 hours, 8 hours, if like work to do.
Yeah, exactly. So I played the Firebrand team on the side, and I would practice it like a few hours every day. And then I think after like a couple months, I was like, okay, this is actually a good team. Like this is a very practical flowchart that I can employ, and it's with Firebrand, who I think wins a lot of matchups on point. I'm gonna invest in this team. So it was like a side team that I played, but I practiced it a bunch, and then I think over like 2 or 3 months I was like, okay, I can do this, and then I started playing it at tournaments.
why did you choose the name ApologyMan?
So, oh man, okay, so it's a bit
like we called hombre disculpas. The translation.
Oh my God.
It's so funny to say the translation of somebody because my name is DreamBuilder, but we say it constructor de sueños. Or it's funny. It's like a meme to translate names.
Yeah, for sure. That's fun.
Fast and Furious, because in Spain they translated like we translated like Rápidos y Furiosos, but a todo gas. Like the translation sometimes of the names get really weird. And that's the meme.
But that's the meme. That's why it's funny. Yeah, the direct translations. Yeah. Oh man. I gotta make that my Dragon Ball name now. I should change it.
For the memes.
Yeah, it's for the memes. But yeah, so like the story is back when like when I was saying I used to play Smash, right?
Yeah.
I used to play Melee. I was a Nintendo kid growing up. I loved Mario, all the like Nintendo games like Zelda and stuff. But Mario was like one of my favorite like franchises and games. I loved in Super Mario Sunshine. I loved wall jumping in that game. That was like one of my favorite mechanics.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most fun mechanics to play in adventure games or like that. Yeah, to jump through walls is so funny.
Yeah, it's just fun. Like I love that. Right, it's all about the movement for me. So in Donkey Kong back in the day, before Mario was called Mario, his name was Jumpman. It was just Jumpman. So I was like, do you know what would be funny? What if I combined wall jumping with Jumpman? I'll make my name Wall Jumpman. It was so stupid. That was my name for so long. It was like until like 2012 I had that name. I was just a stupid kid, so I was just like stuck with it. Anyway, I go to a BlazBlue local one day. I'm playing a tournament match and I'm losing. It's not going great, and I had to do something really cheesy. It was this really fake unblockable setup that Hakumen has, where you like fully charge like his super and it becomes unblockable and does like half your health. It's so bad. There's like a million ways out of it. I make a comeback by doing this unblockable setup with Hakumen, and I win the tournament set. Right? I was holy cheese this guy out, and then after the set, like the idiot that I am, I apologized to him over and over. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I had to win that way. I'm so sorry. And he was not having it. He was so mad. He was so angry. He's like, why are you apologizing for beating me? Stop apologizing. And I kept saying sorry for saying sorry. And he was like, yeah, don't talk to me right now. Don't talk to me. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And I kept just saying sorry. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Then the next tournament that I see him at, him and his friend, they just start heckling me the whole time. All they do is just make fun of me for saying sorry. Like, I'll play a match. It's like, oh, nice combo, Vinny. Why don't you say you're sorry? Why don't you say sorry? It was like stuff that didn't even make sense. Like I like dropped my wallet on the floor, and then they're like, oh, say sorry to the floor, Vinny. And I'm like, that doesn't even. What are you saying? You're just being mean. Yeah. And then eventually, my friend said it. He said they shouldn't call you Wall Jump Man. They should call you Apology Man. And the name kind of stuck after that. That's the full lore.
The full lore of ApologyMan. The meme, the meme that you become.
Yeah. I think it's a better name than Wall Jump Man.
Yeah, for sure. That name it was no. I think if you went to the first Evo, you participate with that name, you.
Yeah.
Go home, please.
Oh man, I still have some old accounts with Wall Jump Man as the name, but yeah.
What about some thieved you for making fighting game content on to give us like you and LK do amazing content? LK like tutorials. What do you recommend that quick and easy to understand videos?
So yeah, that's kind of like what I've been trying to figure out myself, is like trying to find my niche. The thing with Lord Knight is he's really well spoken and he makes really good tutorial content, and he can pump out some videos. Like he's very consistent with his tutorial content. I think you should really do something that speaks to your strengths, right? So what I'm trying to do more of, I've been like kind of lacking a little bit lately, but I'm trying to make more kind of cohesive, like well edited tutorials for specific things.
Wrath do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, Wrath has a lot of inspiration for me.
I saw
one of his.
I saw Wrath and Elke videos that I learned a lot from them.
Yeah, they're really, really smart players, and they know how to explain things really well. So a lot of them, they definitely rubbed off on me a lot, and I want to make educational content, at least but kind of with like my own spin on things. A big thing is I really liked making videos on a specific thing that I think is cool, right? Like I made a video about it was like a setup with Gogeta and Tien, like it was like a cross-up setup.
Oh yeah,
the video is just only about that, and just exactly like this well-edited, detailed video about that. Like stuff like that, I think is fun for me to make. So I'm gonna make content like that. But I think when it comes to making content, you should make something that you yourself would want to watch. That's kind of how I think is like the best way to stay motivated to make the content. There's also easier things you can do. You can turn your stream footage, if you're just like playing matches or games or whatever. You can turn your stream into YouTube content as well. I think that's kind of the most efficient way to do it. Yeah, it's very, very efficient. So what you do is you kind of like turn your stream into like the video. Like you're like, all right, this is what we're doing today. You like have the video, and then you just do whatever regular stream stuff you normally would do. But then you kind of do two things at the same time. I think that's like one of the most the quickest ways to make content, and like while growing. But yeah, I think you should definitely, like, tutorial content is good, but it doesn't have to be tutorial content. You could just have matches and you're just having fun and you're just making jokes and stuff. Like whatever, like as long as it's like entertaining and somebody wants to watch it and you want to watch it, I think that's content worth making.
One of the most important things to create content, if you enjoy to watch it. If you enjoy to watch it yourself, I think more people will watch it.
Exactly.
If you have to release today a patch for DBFZ, what will you change and why?
Oh wow! Oh god!
The big question is this.
Man, okay. That's a tough one. I have to think about this.
Because on DBFZ you have the universal mechanics that are so important on the game that if you touch them, you can break the game completely.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think a big thing is people would talk about like, oh, make Super Dash worse, right? But a big thing with Super Dash that I don't think I hear a lot of people talk about is because of how strong Super Dash is, it lets the developers make really interesting key blasts and key blast angles. And I think people like doing key blasts, right? Like they like all the cool angles and directions they go. That only works because of how Super Dash is. Like you can't have those cool key blasts without Super Dash being that strong. So like I wouldn't change Super Dash that much, to be honest. The biggest thing I dislike about Super Dash is not that it like goes through projectiles or like tracks to. I think it's more when you're jumping, like it does that like kind of pause in midair and then like comes down. It makes anti-airing, like dealing with jumping a little bit harder.
They call Super Dash.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, he's falling. I'm gonna hit a button when he hits the floor. Oh, he did last second Super Dash. I got hit. That's like the classic. Everyone hates that, right? I don't like it either. And it makes
your 2H, and the Super Dash goes back of you. Go to your bag. The classic. The more fun one.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would like some form of chip damage, to be honest. I think chip damage, if they added it through like key blast or something, like that would be kind of fun. I think. I don't know. I definitely dislike that the main win condition is no matter what the character does, whether it's like zoning or offense, like it is put them in block stun and like get in and run offense. Like I wish like a character like Frieza, for example, right, could just zone you out and like over time chip away at your health. But that just doesn't really work in the game at all. So I would want more ways to chip people, I guess. And maybe even chip death, like dying from chip. I think that would be fine too. I don't know. Stuff like that. But I wouldn't change too much because it's like the super dashing, the reflecting, the key blast, that is what makes the DBFZs. And I don't want to change it too much.
And if you balance like super dash or like a snapback, you nerf other character that you don't want to nerf, like Goku Black with the assist change, the Super Saiyan Goku. Well, he's like
exactly. Yeah, if we're not changing the system at all, we're just talking about characters, that please nerf Android 21. I hate her. Please, that character is so broken. Oh my god. If I gotta pick one character just to put in the garbage can, put her in the garbage. She's so cheap. Her level 3 Oki is so dumb. That's the one. Nerf her level 3 Oki. I don't know. Make her tail not like go half the screen. That's it. All right, I'm done.
Do you like to bring back a snapback?
So I think if you bring back snapback, right? I think the biggest problem, it wasn't even that you had to block the offense, you had to hold the offense. I think that was fine. Like you earned the hit, you got your offense. I think the biggest problem with snapback is that it took forever. I think it made match flow just very long and arduous. Because you're snapping people in and out, you would snap loop them. I think that was the problem with it. So if you stopped snap looping, like if you made it so that once you snap somebody in, you run your mix up, and then that's it. Like you just kind of keep playing, you keep fighting that character. So I think what you could do is you could make the snapback. There's like a couple things you can do. The two options I think are you make snapback cost like another, like you can spend another bar to get the guaranteed snapback, but you can also spend no bar to get the current snapback. So you spend one more bar and then you'll get season 2 snapback. But if you don't spend the bar, you get the 30 frames of delay snapback. Like you can do whatever. I think that would be like a nice middle ground. But even if you don't want to do that, if you want to just take it back to season 2, I think they should get rid of assist lockout so that you can guard cancel the second you get snapback in. That would be fine. I think that would be pretty easy to do also as the developers.
What was the hardest thing to learn on DBFZ besides TN rejump, of course?
Man, the hardest thing. I think the hardest thing for me was realizing that Point Piccolo is not good anymore. That was the hardest thing for me. That was number one hardest thing I've ever had to do, was accept, because when this game came out, I played Point Piccolo for all the way until like the end of 2020. I only played Point Piccolo. I never ever played any other character on Point. So I knew when season 3 came out and they changed snapback that Point Piccolo was not good anymore. I knew immediately. I was thinking of what teams to play, but 2020 for me, I was finishing my final semester of college, and it was just really difficult for me. And along with the pandemic happening, like I didn't really make the real change to like a good team in season 3 until like now, like recently. So in 2020, I was like, whatever, I'll keep playing Point Piccolo. Like there's not really any tournaments happening this year, and I'm too swamped with school. I'm just gonna roll with it. I'll play Nappa or something, whatever. Like it doesn't matter.
Feel the spot.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the biggest thing that was really difficult for me was realizing that Point Piccolo, like he loses, like on Point, he loses basically every important like Point game matchup. Like he'll lose to Kid Buu, lose to base Vegeta. He'll like struggle with like Captain Ginyu, and he loses to Vegito, like all these characters. Like he loses to everybody on Point. But what made it okay that he lost to all these characters on point was when he hit you, he would snap loop you and he would make you spark right away because he has the best offense in the game. But the second they took that away, it like stopped being worth it. It was too much like effort to play hard neutral, hit them, and then you had to play like regular Dragon Ball OP. Yeah, it's just like too much. I was like, I can't do this. I have to 3-touch them, and then like I didn't want to do it anymore. So yeah, I had to drop Point Piccolo and play him second. That's the best spot for him this season.
3 vital things that you will recommend to any fighting game player.
Oh, can you say that again?
3 vital things you will recommend to any fighting game player.
I think the biggest thing is you should play the characters that you enjoy. You should, I think for sure playing a character that you enjoy will keep you motivated to keep playing the game. The number one thing to improve, right, is to play the game. That's it. There's no way around it. Like, you have to play. You have to play matches. You have to training mode. You have to play the game. So making that as fun for you as possible, which is usually playing who you like, that is the biggest recommendation I could give to somebody, is play someone who you like, to keep you motivated. Another one would be if you like the way I practice. I practice when I'm really trying to improve. I play a lot of hours per day. But if you're unsure like how much to play, even just playing 1 hour a day is enough. Like, just play a little bit every day, and that it doesn't even like matter how much, like what you're practicing that much. Like, just being like thinking about the game on a regular basis is huge. It's very important. Like, even when I'm not playing the game, and I'm just like, I'm in the shower or like I'm driving somewhere, like I'm always like thinking about the game. That's like a big thing that I recommend. And the third one, pick a top tier. I don't know.
Pick a top tier. Yeah. If you don't want to lose, pick a top tier. See Broly. Don't use Goku Black. Don't use Zamasu.
Hopefully the character that you like is top tier.
Yeah. And what you would recommend to a DBFZ player? Blocking cannot be recommended. We bought the game to fight, not to block. So blocking is not an option today.
Yeah, exactly. Can we repeat the question one more time? So for DBFZ players,
what do you recommend them?
The biggest thing I think a lot of people can learn is to practice dash blocking. It's like a really small thing, but I the biggest thing I notice is in lower mid-level play is people run into stuff like way more often. Like, while they're dashing or jumping around, they'll just get hit by stray key blasts, stray assists, super dashes and stuff. The biggest thing I recommend is just going into training mode and practicing dash jump blocking, dashing and then blocking. That is like getting that input really comfortable in your muscle memory is so important. You will like you can't 2H every super dash. You can't like react to everything in this game. There's too much. There's too much happening at all times. But one thing for sure is you can block a lot of it. You can move around and block those things and try to get more information that way. So if you can practice just moving and blocking well, you'll go a long way for sure. I think that's the biggest thing I recommend Dragon Ball players practice.
Taking into account that you lean toward more unique players, unique characters. Sorry, what do you think about DBFZ characters being like quite similar between them? Like all the Gokus being all have super dash, all have ki blast. So what do you think about this? Yeah,
so I think as the seasons went on, the developers got much better at making more unique characters. So I think in season 1 and a bit of season 2, there was more characters that actually more so in season 1. More so in season 1. I think in season 2 and especially season 3, they started getting better at making the characters more unique because I think they understood like what they were allowed to do. Because so after Kefla, right? Because Kefla is super boring. She's like the most like standard character, right? She just shoots key blast. She has a lariat.
Female Bardock.
Yeah, exactly. She's Bardock too. And I think after her, like with UI Goku, Master Roshi, Super Baby, SSJ4 Gogeta, like those characters I think are so unique. I think the developers really figured it out by then. I think early on in the game's life, they were afraid what they were allowed to do. So you see a character like Zamasu that has flight. Like he has a lot of flaws, but I'm sure the developers were like afraid. Like, okay, we can't give him too much because then he'll be broken, right? So I think there was a lot of that was a big problem early on in the development cycle. But just like the developers and the players, like they're figuring out the game. The developers are trying to figure out what they're allowed to let their characters even do. Yeah. So I think that was like kind of the biggest problem with a lot of samey characters in season 1, like the Gokus. Yeah.
DBC being today one of your main games, do you think the game will remain alive when offline is fully back, or you think it will slowly die with the release now with the Stripe, Project L, like having news for next year, maybe the new game from R6, like the My Hero Academia game?
Yeah, right. If that happens, yeah, no, for sure. I think Dragon Ball is gonna be fine. There's a very dedicated fan base to this game, and there's a lot of people that'll continue to make content for this game. A lot of people that'll continue pushing and competing in this game. I don't think this game is going anywhere soon. We'll see when it comes to developer support, because they've been a little bit unsure. Like my prediction is that, and I don't know anything. Like this is just a prediction. I think they will, at the very least, do balance changes for this game, like for like later down the line. So I think they'll still support this game for sure, and I think that'll be good. The biggest thing, I mean, everyone wants is for the game to have better netcode. I think that would go the longest way. Yeah. But you know, the developers, they already got all their money, like that they sold the game, right? But I think as long as they support the game in some way, I think this game will be fine. Yeah, I think they will like do one more year of World Tour or something like that when offline is fully back. Exactly, and then offline coming back is also going to be massive for the game too. Like CEO just announced, or like they just opened up registration. I registered for that, and I entered DBFZ there. So yeah. Like I think this game will be fine. There's such a dedicated fan base to this game. Like it's too big. Like, the AP is so important. Being Dragon Ball, it carries along the way. Yeah. It'll be fine. Here I have a question from Kawa. Favorite Guilty Gear song of Stripe? Oh, say again? Sorry. Your favorite Stripe song? Favorite Stripe song? Oh, it's Chip Theme. Chip Theme for sure. Actually, yeah. Wait. Actually, yeah, it's Chip's Theme. I think Chip's Theme is the best song. Overall, I don't really like. If I heard the song at karaoke, sure, I'm down. Like I'll sing along. If I'm driving and I'm playing it on my stereo, sure. But when it comes to lyrics in a song in a fighting game, it feels weird. Like I just need something in the background. So like all the songs, like even though I think a lot of the songs are all good, like I think they're pretty good for the most part. They just don't fit in a fighting game because of the lyrics. That's like my main problem with it. Yeah, like my favorite is Chip Theme. Chip Theme for sure. Yeah, for sure. Paul Vecchio on Twitter asked, how did you handle your career as a pro player and your studies all together? Because you received from the degree this year, like December last year. Yeah. So It was difficult. Like there's no easy way to put it. A big reason why I actually didn't really focus on content or streaming or anything was because of college. I basically had to choose between managing college and basically like flying out and practicing for all these tournaments and majors. Like I couldn't do all that and stream. Like it was just too much for me to handle. So time management is definitely one of the hardest things for me that I've like had to learn over the years. It's possible. It's not easy. College for me took a lot longer, personally, and that's fine. Like I everyone goes at their own pace. I think understanding that was like a really big thing for me. I was like, you know what? Like I'm still getting through it, and I'm competing and playing the games that I love. Like it's gonna work out. I'll be fine. You just have to go at your own pace. Don't overload yourself. But you can do it. It's not easy. It's not easy. It took me a really long time to like really master it. Getting down, like, because I would go to tournaments, and then like after the major was over, like on the flight I would be doing homework or like studying for a final. Like it was rough.
Yeah, I think that. And with the scene of the fighting game being so small compared to like CS:GO or LoL, that you can rely on the fighting game to have your life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think when it came to goals, like that was always like a big thing for me. I was like, I this is like a fun. It was always like a fun like hobby for me, and it's cool that it's like gotten this like big for me that I can support myself with fighting games. Like that's really cool, and I was able to like get through college as well, like just supporting myself with fighting games. Like I'm definitely really privileged and happy that I was able to do that. But yeah, like I've always my goal was always like to get my degree and like
I think having a degree is important for everyone's life. So
yeah, absolutely, yeah, education is very important and treat it really seriously. But yeah, it's hard to manage time, but you can do it. And if it takes longer, then so be it. It doesn't matter. Go at your own pace.
You have a life, so you have time. So
yeah.
So Toto, who is a tournament organizer from here, Argentina, that he likes, is one of the pillars of the Argentinian community, ask you, why do you disrespect the cereal with milk community?
Am I disrespecting them? I feel like I'm respecting them. I'm improving their cereal with the way that
I can't understand what the reason that you heat up the cereal. My mind blows when I feel like the hot milk and the cereal so chewy. I like the crunch of the cereal, so my mind can understand it.
No, that's fair. I will try it.
I will try it.
All I can say, yeah, exactly. That's all I can say is try it yourself. The cereal that I recommend everybody is like the gateway cereal. Is you try Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cinnamon Toast Crunch with warm milk. I think most people.
We don't have Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but we have some options.
Something. It's chocolate cereal. Chocolate cereals are also good. You could try that. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you don't hate it till you try it. That's all I can say. Don't hate it till you try it.
Kawa says we have here a friend that eats the cookies, like the. So it's hard to translate the cookie itself because it's like some cultural. Yeah, it's a cultural biscuit from here. So
okay.
It's a cookie with marmalade. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, with mayonnaise.
Okay, I don't know about that. That's
the mayonnaise with a cookie. So it's like mind blowing.
Oh man, I don't even like mayonnaise on like my sandwich. I can't even imagine it on a cookie.
What do you think about the stripe? do you have a high expectation about the game? Because it has some mixed review about the community, like the limits, like it's so basic for newcomers, so it's weird the spot it has today.
Yeah, so I think a big thing with Guilty Gear Strive right now, right, is, and this is like any new fighting game.
Yeah.
When they added different mechanics, they really changed things up. People are skeptical, and that's understandable. The biggest thing that I like about Guilty Gear Strive, and like it's regardless of like the mechanics and maybe like the combo system not being super crazy. Like there's cool combos in this game, but like they're definitely, yeah, it's like 8 hit like like, you know, like I get it. Like I definitely don't love the combos either, like in the game. But the biggest thing is I love the match flow, the gameplay loop that it has. If a fighting game, like after I finish a match of it, if I feel like the need to like hit rematch, just mash rematch again, that means the fighting game is doing something right. Like it isn't just about, like, even with Dragon Ball, the game is very mentally draining because the matches take a very long time. It's a lot of drawn out stuff, especially at a higher level. Like the games take a really long time. Yeah. The big thing with Strive is everything happens really quickly. Like the match flow is super fast paced. The wall break like happens, and then like all the meter. Like I really enjoyed the overall game flow, and it's very addicting. I think that alone is gonna takes the game really far for me, and I'm excited to like keep playing it as long as it's fun for me. And like I said, like I only play the games that I find fun. Like there's never like, oh, I'm only in it for the money or whatever. Like that's obviously never been the case for me. Like that's just, yeah, like that, I've never been that way. It's, if it stops being fun, then like, yeah, I'll stop playing it. But as right now, I'm enjoying it a lot. So I'm definitely excited for it. Yeah.
Do you think the game will be good for first timer or fighting games player that play a little bit only?
Yeah, actually, I think it's one of the best fighting games for a beginner to play. Not only does it have like really good netcode, I think the mechanics are not as they're like, it's not too simple, right? Like, but a big thing people like to do is like they like to move. Like movement is like such a big thing in every video game. It doesn't matter. Like people like to move. People just like to move. And it's this game like lets you do that, and the mechanics aren't like too complicated and abrasive to the point where like a beginner can feel super overwhelmed. That was like a big thing that they were going for, like simplifying a few things. And I think this is like one of the best fighting games for a beginner to play by far. Like by far.
What do you recommend them to learn? So like if you are a beginner or is your first time playing a Guilty Gear, what is your recommendation for them?
Like a different fighting game to play, or like within Guilty Gear? No,
in Guilty Gear. If you're a beginner, like you come from DFC, or you never played the Guilty Gear and you want to try. Just try.
Yeah. I mean, a big thing is you definitely need to. I have to think about that a little bit. It definitely depends on the game that you come from. Every fighting game teaches you different. Yeah. It teaches you different lessons and fundamentals. So it's not always straightforward what to transfer over.
Yeah, like in DBFZ, fundamental doesn't exist. Like Footsie, where are you there?
Yeah. No, yeah. Like if you're a Dragon Ball player and you're playing Guilty Gear, the biggest thing you need to understand is the jumping. Like you there's more consequences. Yeah. There's way more consequences. Also, moving backwards, something I noticed actually is Dragon Ball players, like they love to do like backdashing and air dash backs in Dragon Ball. That doesn't work in Guilty Gear because there's this mechanic called negative penalty. You'll actually start losing meter if you do too much backwards movement. So that's like another big thing to look for. But honestly, just like like this is the recommendation. Like if I don't care what fighting game you played before. If this is your first Guilty Gear, just pick someone who looks cool and just roll with it. Like just play. Like, that's it.
Feel the character.
Yeah, that's it. That's the most important thing. Pick someone that is fun. That is the number one recommendation I can give.
What do you think about the Gatling in Guilty in Australia?
So while it is more limited than previous Guilty Gears, I understand that it is the way that it is. The biggest thing I don't like about it is that it's not intuitive. I think for someone to just jump in, people like to just go light, medium, heavy.
Like DBC.
Yeah, exactly. Like people like to go through the series of buttons. You need to know now. It's like, oh, okay, I hit 2K. I can only go into 2D or like 5D. Like you have to like learn the Gatlings a little bit more. And even though once you get it though, like they are pretty universal. It's like K's go into D's. Like that's about it. But it isn't like as intuitive as previous fighting games have been. The ABCD is like the classic, right?
Yeah.
And so you gotta. It takes some time. It takes some time. I think I'm okay with it. Though.
You can see like Arsis is working hard to make the game for newcomers or beginners to learn, because they are the new system of the training system, like the tutorials. They are working pretty hard. Like the update on DFC with the dojo, I think it's called for new players. That they are trying to
yeah, for sure.
They are trying to make the players to learn no without seeing a YouTube video like tutorial how to play the game. Like they are trying to make them learn playing the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And not watching it.
Yeah, honestly, I think the biggest thing is the netcode is gonna carry the game's experience by a lot.
Yeah,
because you can play people and you can play people at your level in non-laggy conditions. You'll just get the experience that you need. And,
like you today you are playing DBC or Street Fighter because you like the game, and the game you feel is fun, but you don't like the netcode. You can play it.
Yeah, for sure. I also recommend trying to find a friend to get into the game with, like someone that's like around your level. Maybe they like, if you haven't played a fighting game before, like getting into a fighting game with another friend makes it way more fun, because you have someone at your level and you're learning together, and it's nice. You can be like, oh man, I just lost to some stupid soul player. What do I do, dude? Like, and then you just like go to your friend and it's like, oh, I saw this online, and you kind of talk about it together. I think that's really good too, having that support group. To like bounce ideas off of.
Do you have any expectations about the community of Project L, the new game from Riot Games? Do you think the community will be like League of Legends community or like Valorant community of like being so toxic that the game is bad? Like,
oh god, yeah.
Do you think the community, like that community, will come with the fighting game scene?
I think what's gonna happen is when it comes out, a lot of League of Legends players and influencers or whatever, they're gonna play it for like whatever period of time, and then they'll probably just like move on, because I hope that isn't the case. I hope people like actually stick to it, because I want the fighting game genre to get bigger like everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah, so like I'm definitely for that, but I don't know. I think people are putting way too much stock into Project L. I think it'll be a good game. It'll have the great netcode, obviously. It has the amazing IP of like all the League of Legends characters, right? So it has a lot of good things going for it, like going into it. But I totally think the game is just gonna be Rising Thunder. Have you played Rising Thunder before?
No, I didn't play it. I know the game, but I didn't play it.
Yeah, if I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to end up like that, because that is the team that was hired for Project L, along with like other people, and I don't know. I think it'll be good, but I would not put. I don't think it's going to save or like take fighting games to the top.
Yeah,
it's gonna help. It's definitely gonna help.
I think at least the tournament and that will help a lot, because Riot Games is known because the world tour they make, or like those tournaments, they are so big, like so good to watch and enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you could be not play LOL and you can watch the tournament and enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. I think fighting games are also really good.
Yeah,
they're really easy to watch too. Like even when like MOBAs and like League of Legends, or like sometimes I'll watch Dota, I have no clue what is happening. Like it's like I don't know what this champion does. I don't know what his spells are, but things are happening. It's crazy. I think fighting games are a little bit more straightforward to watch. So I think that the genre has a lot of potential for good watchability. So I hope that Riot does actually put the funding into Project L to make it like a pretty large esport. That'd be cool. But more than anything, I just hope it's fun. I just hope the game is fun. I really hope it is.
I think it's the most important part, because if the game is not fun, it will die.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. So hopefully it's good.
Yeah. To go wrap things up, because like we go like 1 hour, the Spanish came out from nowhere. One last question: are you going to compete online in Stripe if the net play allows? Like play. I know you will play on US, but you would like to participate in like Argentina tournament, Mexican tournament, like to some. Ay, no me sale la palabra. Some to show some FT, like the FT against Kawa, like T9 from players from here.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think what I'm going to do, like the first few months, I think I'm pretty open to entering tournaments from anywhere. I'll see what the limitations are, because I need to really learn how far can I play matches that I'm okay with. I mean I had fine matches against Kawa, so I don't see why I couldn't enter some tournaments in the South America scene. So I mean we'll see. I would love to do that.
So we have your
it's
confirmation.
It's definitely going to be a learning experience.
So
the confirmation, basically.
Your confirmation that we'll have ApologyMan on the wanted stripe. So the Argentinian wanted stripe. So I hope to see you.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna be entering a lot of things. I'm trying to grind. So the more competition, the better. I'm down.
Yeah. I think that is important. If the US scene allow us to play like Argentina in tournaments from the US, will be really cool if the net play allow us and the tournament organizers allow it too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully we get some good games.
Well, thank you so much, Apology, for having this time to talk with us, to talk with some of the players from here, so to share your experience, to knowledge about the games you played, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.